Hello everyone, this is going to be my guide for how to be a DPS bard, a speedy bard, and a mana battery bard. It's gonna be relatively a long video because I'm gonna go through every single spell or skill to explain them what they do and the bard combos, stories, sagas, all that. Okay, first off, I'm gonna explain how a dueling bard works, basically a 1v1 bard. And for this we're running Menacing Melody, and we have all our three important songs. Maybe you need to run sometimes, you use Epic. Uh, if fight versus a cleric goes long, you need Pensive Melody, all that. So first of all, with all our melodies that we start, and I think it's better for me to explain the resonance stack. What does it do? So Bard unique spell or mechanic is resonance weapon stack, and every time you use a spell you get one stack. So if I use one, say two or three, five, so each spell gives me one, but my dances, for example my maddening, nimble, and shield dance gives me two resonance stack if I let the channel time goes all the way. So you see right now it's on 5 if I'm seeing it correctly. And if I use Nimble Dance, it will go on 6, and when it ends, it goes on 7. So if you use your whole channel or the whole duration of your channel for your dance, it will basically gives you an extra spell. This is a new change they made in the new update. Anyway, into Menacing Melody, which is your DPS. That's how Bard does the most damage. And based on any of the songs that you have on right now, for example, we have Menacing, which is our DPS song. If you go into, if you hover over your resonance, you see Menacing says it deals bonus 150 arcane damage and apply 3 stack of shock to each target. If you hold shift, you can read what does shock do. I'm not gonna read everything. And basically, whenever you do a finisher, when you have your songs on, whenever your weapon does a finisher, you can see when does your weapon does a finisher if you hover your mouse over it. So for a 1, the first hit will be a finisher, and the 6th one will be your extended finisher. All weapons have a finisher and extended finisher when you unlock them in your weapon skill tree. So for 1 is the 5th one, and if you have Menacing Song on, it will does 150% more damage and apply 3 stack of shock. And then you can pair it up with your sagas. These are our sagas, or sorry, stories. And for PvP, mostly duels, I use Chaos, because Chaos gives me crit chance. And if I use it once, it will be 6%. Any of the stories, if you use it twice when they are still active, it will be stronger. So they have 1 minute duration and they have 30-second cooldown. So you can stack it up again and it will go to Chaos 2 and it will be 9% crit chance. I'll show you in a second when it's ready. So for example, let's say this is the enemy. You have charge up your stuff, and if you do auto attack, your 5th one will do a bunch of damage, and it consumed the 6 of my stacks because I did my finisher, which will be 3 stack, and then I did my extended finisher, which was another 3, so 6 stack was consumed. And for this Chaos, I used it again, and if you hover on it, it says Chaos 2, your critical chance increased by 9%. So it was 6, now it's 9. So you can spam it every 30 seconds to keep this one always on Chaos 2 or whatever story you are on to be stronger. And same goes for all of them. For Conflict, for Destiny, for Wonder, for Triumph, and Joy. But for a dueling bard, you need Chaos. Some people will go for Conflict, but I do find it that I think Chaos is the best option. Your crit chance have a lot of potential for your heals, for your damage, because if you see, my crit chance with Chaos 2 is 53%, so more than half of my attacks have a chance to crit. and then your crit damage, magical crit power is 170%. So it is way more beneficial for a 1v1 situation than conflict, the other one. And not only that, every bard has like all your stories. We have three color basically. We have red. If you stay on it, you see generate one red option down there, a red mask. And then we have blue ones, and we have yellow. So the red ones, depends which one you use. You can stack them 3 times, and each of them gives you 5% extra damage. So on top of your song, which is 15% damage, or it will be 10%. I have a passive that makes it 15. I explain it. It will be 15% damage just from these guys. And you want to always keep it running so the duration is there and you have always the 9%. So basically, whenever I do an auto attack on anything, see, and the fifth one and the sixth one together. So that was a lot of damage. That's how Bard does most of its damage. And if you don't have the resonance stack and you do auto attack, it is not going to do that much damage. It basically, you should see, it only does 50% more damage. And if you have your stacks on 3, let's see, and then boom. You see here, it will consume my stacks and apply shock to the enemy. So that's for your song. And now you know how does it work and which story to pair it up with. I missed it again. Now it's on 6% because I forgot to stack it. And basically you charge up your stuff with your flourish or whatever, or hymn of mine is a free spell to charge to get a resonance stack, or when you are running away to get a distance, you can run your shielding dance all the way to the channel to get 2 stack, and it gives you heal every second it bounces the drum or whatever the sound is. Then your alacrity, see, that was like 2.5 something, almost 3k damage. Before the nerf of the gear, you would able to even hit like 11,000 sometimes. So that's your skill tree for Dwelling Bard. I'm gonna go over them. Mana Song, your epic melody, which is makes you run faster, and every spell that here is that I'm using currently for like specifically a Dwelling Bard, and this will be on single target. I keep it on AoE because sometimes you run into a group fight. Anyway, so to explain every spell, I explained the menacing melody. It makes your damage multiplier increase by 15% with the crescendo, this passive. And then you have cathartic melody. You just need to read them. Basically, your auto attacks have a chance to heal yourself, and also, if you have resonance stack, it will apply wound to the targets. See, deal 50% bleed damage and apply wounded to each target hit. Wound will increase, oh sorry, decrease the healing that they will receive. So it's good versus cleric and stuff. It's mostly for a group PvP. I'm not using it that much. And then you have your cheerful melody, your mana, and your epic, which are you basically when you're gonna be giving your party mana, or giving yourself or the party speed, or giving yourself and party healing. That's when you use them. And we have Hymn of Mine. This is basically gives you mana. It has 4 ticks. And then you have single target and AoE. AoE one will do less, but it will gives multiple people mana. Same goes with Lovely Serenade. You have AoE and single in PvE or PvP situation, which is me and I'm dueling somebody. I want the single target one because it's stronger and it gives you a small shield on yourself. And then if you get the passive, it gives you more healing, and you just need to read them. I'm not going to read everything again. And then you have Chilling Laminate, which is your slow basically. And if you need to read every single spell. When you hold shift, it It's like, for example, here the target is dealt 60% ice damage and affiliated with 4 seconds of chill and weaken every second. So if you hold shift, it will tell you like what is chill and weaken does, and you know about it. And then again, AoE and single target. AoE does less damage and it has less range than the single target. And then same with your Dark Lullaby. Again, you need to read all of them. And then you have your shielding dance. Basically your dances. You have 4 dances: Maddening, Shield, Nimble, and Mesmerize. Maddening will deal damage to enemies. If you have less, they will take more damage, and it will remove debuff or buffs from them. For example, if a skeleton has a resurrection buff on it, you can use this one and then kill it, and it will never resurrect again. And then you have Shielding Dance, basically simple, heals you for every tick and gives you a shield, you and your party members or whoever is in this radius. You have Nimble. Nimble gives you speed, peep, which gives you 20% speed and also give you 50% evasion. Evasion is when people use a spell or auto attack you, they have a 50% chance to miss it. Basically this one. And then you have your Mesmerize Dance, which is your AoE in cap or putting enemies to sleep. If I find one, let me pull one here. And then you have Maddening, which I already explained. So basically if you go here, do this, they will be in cap for 10 seconds. And if you combo it, you see, if there is a combo for anything in the game, it will show up after you use the spell. So you see, there it's not in cap no more, so this one goes off. So when you mesmerize something or multiple people, you can use Dark Lullaby on them, and it will stun them without waking them up. But if you attack them, if you just mesmerize dance them and attack them, it will wake them up. Another way to stun enemies with your mesmerize dance is to use to put a stagger on them, and your ability here, Discordance, has stagger, so you use this on them and they will go to they will be stunned. So basically that's the combo with Mesmerize Dance. Either Mesmerize Dance into Dark Lullaby or Discordance into Mesmerize to stun them. The only difference is this one is 3 seconds, this one is 4 seconds. And this one has a chance to bounce off of people to go to multiple people. So for example, when there is a clump, you send this in, it will bounce off of everybody mostly, and then you mesmerize dance and you will CC all of them. Then we have get off the stage. Discordance, I already explained it. Get off stage is your close range spell. Basically puts snare on people, and if they are applies disarm. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. So you see disarm, they cannot use weapon attack combos for 4 seconds. And snare is basically slowing them. So when you use it on an enemy, they will be slow. And if they are staggered, so you can potentially use discordance, stagger your enemy, and then get off stage on them, and they will not be able to use auto attacks. And then you have your maddening dance and shielding dance, and all them explain. So another combo with get off stage is fierce wit. Basically, if the enemy has 2 or 3 debuff on them, for example, they have, I don't know, slow, silence, burning, stagger, whatever debuff you can name in the game. If they have more than 2 and you throw a tomato at them or mock here, it will apply burning to them. But if you pair it with get off the stage, let's see, for example, this one, it puts snare on it, and if you use tomato, you will trip the enemies for 3 seconds, which is also a really good way to get a distance or run away from people who jump you. For example, a fighter jumps you or a rogue, they are in your face, you just basically use this spell on them and to get away from them. You stagger them and you run away, or basically if you want to finish them, depends on the situation anyway. And then you have Alacrity. This basically gives you attack speed. You have 2 versions again, AoE and Single target is always stronger. It's only for yourself or whoever you choose to give it to. And then AoE, it gives you and three closest ally in front of you. It's the same for Lovely Serenade as well. If you put it on AoE, it's you and this one is up to five allies. Sorry. So basically gives you attack speed. You attack faster. That's how fast you can attack with Dark Lullaby. And also the casting speed is fast as well. So it's good to pair it up, for example, Alacrity into a Marionette to cast something faster, or you can use it on your cleric when they want to res, they will res faster, or you want to use Chilling Laminate on somebody really fast, that's the point, or you just want to auto attack faster, or any casting basically. That's when we use Alacrity. So, and then we have Gambit. Gambit basically switch your HP with the person of your choice, and then you have your silence. Pretty straightforward. You just silence them for 4 seconds. It says down here applies Humiliated if target is demoralized. Humiliated make targets to have 15% do basically 15% less damage for 8 seconds, and demoralize is only 10%. How do you humiliate people? With your tomato, basically. So if you, for example, if you silence them, it will applies. Sorry, if you throw a tomato at them, it will demoralize them, and then you silence them, and it will be humiliated. So basically, instead of 10% damage reduction, it will be 15. And then we have Marionette. It's another CC, a type of CC, let's say. So basically, when you cast it, it will make them to not work or move for 10 seconds. They will, if it's a character, they will start dancing. The mobs are not doing nothing. And if you attack them and they take 10% of their max HP as damage, it will wake them up. But if you don't attack them or do nothing, they will have to either use their CC break or wait for 10 seconds to break it. So when you marionette someone and they take damage, 10% of their HP as damage, it will break. And that's all. Dynamism is a passive, makes your peep, which is your movement speed buff, to be 1 second longer. It's 4 seconds. If you take this one, it will be 5. What gives you peep? We have here Jest, which I forget to mention it. Jest gives you, when you use it on yourself or allies, you get movement speed, which is peep, and also gives you glee for 15 seconds. If you use it twice, it will be 30 seconds. So as you can see, it will gives you healing. Basically, it's a dot. Every 2 seconds, you get a little bit of HP. It can crit as well, and it gives you movement speed. So for example, you want one faster or you want a quick heal, it's a small heal, and it's very useful to charge up your resonance stack because it has only 4-second cooldown. Sorry, 8-second cooldown, but you have 2 charges, so it's really useful to charge up your resonance stack for free basically, and gives you heal. And then we have another passive, which is Song Mastery. We have 2 of them, Harmony and Dissonance. So if you put it on Harmony, and if you stay on it, it says, for example, on Menacing, when your Lullaby will be stronger, 30% stronger, when you are on Menacing Melody, which is your DPS song. Or for example, your Lovely Serenade, this one, will be stronger if you are on Cheerful Melody. If I'm on Menacing Melody, my Dark Lullaby will be stronger. So if I take this, confirm, you see? This will shine here, which means this will be stronger when I'm on Menacing Melody, 30% stronger. I do not use this in PvP because it's useless. I rather to use Dissonance because, again, if you check, for example, Lovely Serenade will give me a discordant node and also 2 other allies within 15 meters of me. Gives them 3 stack of discordance. What was discordant was this one. So if I have this, and then you see the Lovely Serenade is shining now when I'm on Menacing Melody. If I use Lovely Serenade here, I'm gonna pull a bunch of them. Let's pull this one. So when I auto attack, you see the nodes are going outside, and it also staggers as well. So it's really good for big clumps to just maximize your damage. You will give it to yourself and two more people, and they will not only do more damage but also help you to cover more people with stagger effect. And then we have your next passive, which is music mastery. We have crescendo and we have counterpoint. Counterpoint basically allows you to run double song, but it's really bad because every 20 second you need to, like, I turn on this one for 20 second and after that I turn on this one, and then when the channel is finished, like this channel, let me show you. This channel is finished, I get, like, you see this is the number here will increase 7, 10, it will goes up basically to 25, and then when it's done you can run another song and both of them will be active together for the max duration, which is 20 seconds. And you see, I go menacing now, this one will start, the timer for this one will tick and this one will goes up. So basically when the channel is over you need to turn on your epic melody again if you want to go double music. But crescendo is 10 times better. It gives you over this channel. Let me turn it off. So if you see, it's 10 seconds right now. If I take crescendo, when this channel reach all the way to the end, this will get stronger and stronger. So instead of 10, it will be 15% more damage. So 15 with your song and with your 3 tragedy buff, which comes from chaos, which will be already 30%. Yeah, so right now it's only crescendo, the only option. No matter what kind of bard you are, crescendo is the way to go. And then we have dance mastery. It's two of them. We have power. Power increases your dance radius. You see the radius of this is small. If you use flourish, your this ability, and then use one of your dances, their AoE will be way more. So it is really good to use this to cover a large area of people, to give them shielding dance or nimble dance, or you want to go into a big clump of enemies and you want to basically give the, like, cover more areas with the in cap on your enemies. So you can dodge, jump, flourish, and boom, you cover a big area of people with nimble dance. And if you go on energy, what does energy do? Energy is mostly used when you play escape bard or catch me bitch. Sorry. So instead of two flourish charges, you will have one. And when you use flourish, it goes on cooldown. But every time you use any of your dances, you have 4 dances, or your get off stage, it will refresh the flourish. So if I use get off stage, it will refresh it. So eventually you can just do this and run for a long period of time. But also right now mesmerize dance is buggy sometimes. It doesn't refresh the cooldown of flourish. So if I, for example, have my maddening dance as well, if I use it, it will refresh it. So you can do this potentially 5 times, like 5 flourish, and go forward. But for a PvP scenario or like basically a group fight, power is always better. Dance mastery power. And then you have marionette. What does marionette do? Marionette makes your glee to have 5% chance to bounce to other nearby ally, and also increase the glee additional mitigation by 1%. Glee by default gives you 2% if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it gives you 2% mitigation. If you take this one, it will be 3%, and also has a chance to jump to nearby allies, 5% chance. It is useful when you use it. I'll explain it later, but I'm just gonna tell you, like, when you use Jest, that's the easiest way to get Glee out of your spells. And Glee is this dot, the heal over time, every 2 seconds. It has 5% chance to jump into your nearby ally and heal them as well. That's all. And then you have your misdirection. This is your CC break, and supposedly it will reduce the threat against monsters. I have seen it work, but it's not really reliable. I don't know how far or how close the monster needs to be to you. I tried it close range, far range. It doesn't work most of the times, but his main purpose is to break CC. If someone silence you, I don't know, slows you, it basically will cleanse you. It's your cleanse. If someone incap you, CC you, or whatever silence, you use misdirection, it's the animation, and it will break the CC. And then we have your stories. Stories are each of them do a unique thing. You have two of each color, two red, two blue, and two yellow. So conflict gives everybody 4% multiplier or damage power multiplier increase by 4%. And if you'd use it the second time, it will go to 6%. Remember, when we use them again, it can stack with each other and will become stronger. So chaos will go to chaos 2, conflict will go to conflict 2. For a party, when you are in a party situation and you want to be the damage bard to give everybody more damage, you need to go conflict, because conflict is overall better for everybody, because your healer will do more heal, everybody do more damage. It's overall better to do the conflict than rather chaos. And then you have destiny. Destiny is really bad right now because it gives you 5% accuracy. The game is not in a place that accuracy matter that much. And if it would even if it was in a place that accuracy would matter that much, 5% in my opinion is really it's just too little. So accuracy means that your auto attacks or your spells cannot miss. And then you have wonder. That's when you go mana battery, you use wonder, it's better. Physical attack speed and magical casting speed increase by 4% for everybody in your party. And then you have triumph, which is the yellow buff. Again, when you have blue buff, it increase your mana effectiveness, like you do 10% more better mana basically. If I take it right now, let's see, I have the mystery. The blue effect is called mystery, and mana restoring effect is increased by 10%. So your mana song, your hymn of mine, everything does more, basically gives more mana. And then you have triumph, which and joy, both of them are the yellow department. Nearby party members gain mitigation and evasion. It's start at 3. When you stack it again, it will be 5. It is not that good. It's okay, but it's not that good. I would consider if it was 10%, it would be great, but hey, it's not. But if you're gonna go for joy or basically the healing bard, or even in a party when you do menacing, I'll explain it later, you use joy, because joy gives 6% max HP at level 1, and when you reuse it again it will be 9%, and it also gives 1.5 mana regen at level 2. And yeah, that's all. So let me show you the combos. And also you have these spells that I forget. Flourish, that I said it already. You bounce forward and it gives you 4 seconds, and for 4 seconds you have 20% movement speed. Resonance stack, I explained it. And this new spell that they added recently is Fortissimo. Your melodies are greatly empowered for the next 8 seconds. So when you use this, for example, we are on Menacing Melody. Let me charge up 5 stack. So see, this one goes on. It costs 5 resonance stack to activate, and it will increase the power of your melody. Basically, if I use it now, it was 15. Now it's 30% more. Same goes for anything else. See, they shine when you use it. If you use it's really good when you give mana. It's really good when you want to do a big burst on an enemy. And lastly, about the dueling bird is the combo. I'll show you how your perfect combo would be. Basically, it's matter of when you use your silence, how you use it. You need to bait your opponent with your silence or with your mesmerized dance, or with one of these two. You need to bait them into breaking, or they're using their CC break. When they use their CC break, it's gonna be 25-second cooldown, and then you can marionette them and use your combo. So let's say there is a mage, you're going towards him, you start auto attacking him, and you use a silence on it, and they will blink. They have a passive in their blink that breaks their CC or whatever. You can choose, you can click on them and see as well. So when you silence them, it shows the silence over here. And when they blink and break the silence, you have two more stuns to work with it, and you can CC them and destroy them. As of right now, nobody should be able to beat you if you are a good bard, except the good rogue. Average rogue, you can still kill them, but a good rogue, you have no chance. I have tried it. I died, like, for example, if we do 10 rounds, I die, like, I get to win 2 or 3 rounds, and the other person gets to win the 7 or 8 rounds later on. So anyway, for your duels, this is the combo you want to do with the bard. For example, you want to nuke somebody right away. Basically what you do is you charge up your stacks. Let's say the fight has been started. You do not use your shielding and stuff that early in the fight. You just stall the fight. You have get off the stage. You have flourish. So let's say you are at 10. You go into alacrity, so you can cast marionette faster. And then during this time, what you want to do is that you have your alacrity. You want to turn your back, send your nodes, and then activate your fortissimo. Either do a jest, or for example a mock. Yeah, I'm explaining it right now, but you have to do all this in 8 seconds, by the way. So let's say you do all that, and then when you turn, the reason we turn to do this is because by the time you do your fifth attack, or if you are a longbow at your third attack, these nodes will reach the target and you will do your finisher. So all your big burst damage will happen in one, like in that 8 second, that exact time. Everything will happen at that time. Kill this real quick. Okay. So now we can try it on a real target. Waiting for my spell to come up. And let's say you have already your 10 charges. So you have 10, you can maximize 10 stack. When you use this one, it will consume 5, and you are left with 5. So you need to use a spell afterwards right away. You have 8 seconds to do all your combos or your auto tag finisher. So you want to use, I don't know, throw a mock at them or throw a jest at yourself, and that's all there is to it. It's not an easy combo for people who start. I still mess it up myself. It's not easy. So what I do is, for example, I have my conflict 2 already, and then I go into lovely serenade, so I will have discordant node when I auto attack. I go into alacrity, I do this, this, and I have 6 resonance stack, and I'm doing the auto attack. So that's the most damage I did. That was like almost 4,000 damage. That's basically how you do the big burst with the bard. You can do it still without fortissimo. You can do the same combo, and if you don't have the chance to, or you are not fast enough, or you think that you cannot do the combo, you don't have to use fortissimo. But fortissimo is, I usually use it versus tanks and healers, or another bard that have sustain. Like tank can heal themselves a little bit, clerics can heal themselves all the time, and yeah, that's why I only use fortissimo. You can also pop up arcane surge potion during all these shenanigans, and even burst them way harder. Like before the nerf of the gear, if I wanted to kill a cleric in one tap, no matter if they have shield or whatever on them, I would do the combo, and when I use fortissimo, I would use my potion and then throw a tomato at them or just on myself for a quick spell to get 6 resonance stack. And then with the one finisher, I go my 5th attack and 6th attack will finisher and then extended finisher. So both of them, each of them will consume 3 stack of resonance. So that's why I needed 6. and then I do my maximum damage to them, and it was like 8,000 something, and they would die no matter how much. Because your max HP as a cleric is like maximum, I think 4,000, 5,000, and your damage was way more than enough to kill them. So that was the dual part, and then I wanted to mention something that I forgot. I don't remember it. It was in back of my head, and I forgot. Oh yeah, versus clerics when you play, most of them don't even pay attention. So let's say you are playing versus a cleric, it's a duel. You don't need epic melody. In open world, you need this. Maybe you need to run away. And what does it do is cleric has they will basically stay alive. If it's a good cleric, they will stay alive as long as they have mana. But the moment they run out of mana, you win. Because if you run out of mana, you can just turn on your epic melody, charge up some resonance stack, get off your weapon finishers, and you get mana back. But they don't have that much mana with blessed weapon. So if they don't have blessed weapon, even with blessed weapon, they cannot sustain mana as much as you can do. So you wanna get close to them and use maddening dance on them. Maddening dance will remove all their buffs, even soothing glow, which is their dot healing over time. It's a strong one, and it's a relatively free spell for them. And their blessed weapon, you can remove this from clerics, and I guarantee you 99% of them don't even realize that they have lost the blessed weapon. And during the hit of the fight, even if they reply it again, you can just continue removing it. Even for 10 seconds removing it, they will use their spells, or even when they use it and they get the mana regen buff, you can just remove it with this to deplete their mana faster, and you will win the fight faster when the mana goes out versus a cleric. A good one. A normal one will never last that long versus a bard. Anyway, so let's go for the mana battery. For mana bard, I go like this. You don't want to grab this one. You can grab it if you are not. It's situational. So let's say you are in a place that AoE doesn't matter that much, because you don't want to pull 20 million mobs with your discordant nodes, because when you send your discordant nodes, they will bounce off of nearby enemies, and you don't want to pull the whole dungeons to you. So it's situational. If you need more damage, a little bit more damage, use this one. But also need to be careful to not, because you can pull a lot of mobs into your group and wipe them. So it's better to just go Harmony or not grab it at all. So let's say we went to Harmony. We put this on AoE. I also put my Chilling Laminate on AoE. We don't need this one. You can either use Glee, or you can use for PvE purposes. I would You can either drop Marionette. I would just drop Marionette, or you can even do both of them. You can just drop Fear Wit for a mana bard, and then you have this too, right? And your secondary music, you can put it on this. Maybe you are the only bard in the party, and everybody are good at mana. You can just switch for Menacing Melody for a while and do that to give them more damage. And when they need mana again, you come back to your mana song again. So let's see what we do with this. The reason we're going for the AoE one, because it will weaken enemies. It will not only slow them, but let's say you have a clump of mobs that coming towards you, you weaken them, their physical attack speed will be reduced by 25%, so they attack slower to your tank, which gives them a breathing space or better survivability. And then you have AoE Hymn of Mind, which is AoE mana for your party. And make sure you are running Wonder, and all 3 stacks need to be up, because when you get 3 stat, that's 30% more mana effectiveness. And then your mana song, and that's all. What you want to do is you want to spam your Jest on your tank mostly. If you maybe you need it yourself, maybe not. But yeah, you want to stack it on your tank, because it will give them mitigation and glee and heal over time, so it's better on your tank. And the reason we got this saga is because with different stories, different color of stories. See, three blue or three green, sorry, three yellow or three red, they makes different sagas. They are like basically your bard ultimates. Most of them are useless. Some of them are very good. This Silent of Pantheon, this one. If you have three blue, it gives you this. And if you look at it, up to 8 nearby allies gain Bless of Pantheon. Weapon combo attacks generate mana equal to 10%, 100% of damage they deal. So if they do 100 damage, they get 100% mana back. This is for a situation, normally you don't need this, but let's say your party is pulling so many mobs non-stop, everybody are using spell non-stop, and your mana is like, if you without this, I guarantee you, if you're doing everything correctly, you charge up your resonance stack non-stop and you're using your finisher to consume it and give everybody mana, you are not going to need this. But if you are obsessed to seeing everybody to be at 100%, then you grab this. In some cases you can even go menacing melody and have this saga on, so you would be on damage song. But for mana, to give people mana, every 2 minutes you activate this. A minute and 30 seconds, sorry. You will activate this, and when they do auto attack, they will get mana back. So you can tell them that, hey, I'm gonna activate the mana or my saga right now. You can all auto attack for the mana. So you can sustain them a group party mana with this saga alone as well, most of the times. Not all the time. Depends how much you pull. Anyway, you go Wonder, 3 blue, you have your Saga, that's how you heal. Basically, I think I got disconnected, didn't I? Yep, I did. Okay, all our stories are pre-started as well. Awesome. And my song is bugged. If you want to hear the music, you just need to switch this, plus confirm, and then switch back, and then you can hear the melody going off like this. Anyway, you charge up your resonance stack, you do your auto attacks on your 5th hit, whenever the finisher is. See, I got 100, 200 something and 159 mana. So you wanna, for example, jump into your clump, shield dance them or whatever, or slow the clump that is in front of you, or give them mana. Basically, this is the AoE mana you have. Then make sure you have all 3 wonders for the maximum amount of mana you can get. Let's see. Now we have like 10 stacks. Each of them should give me like 270, 270. That's how you give mana to your party. And basically, by spamming just, and whenever your shield dance stuff is ready, you just go in, shield nimble dance everybody. If they are low HP, you can let your shield dance channel go the whole duration. Not only you will heal them for every tick, but at the end of it, if you let the whole channel go, you will, instead of 1 resonance stack, you get 2 resonance stack. And something to mention is that you can animation break uh, all your dances except mesmerize. For example, you see the shielding, if I use another spell, it will cancel it. You will get the effect, and you will get only 1 tick of the healing, but you can cancel it real quick. So like shielding into this, and then boom, you have only used 2 dances, something like that. That's how you CC break it. And then your saga, basically whenever you use it, see, every time I hit, I get mana back. This thing is busted, it gives you so much mana. that's basically it for the mana bard. And for healing bard, nobody really goes specifically cheerful melody. In most of the cases, you are running menacing and you are running joy. The reason that you do this is because if I'm using joy with my menacing melody, it's either because I'm outnumbered. There are some videos that I have used the yellow buff comedy instead of tragedy, and the red buff is a tragedy. And the reason is why I also had Return to Vera, my saga, because it was I'm outnumbered and I need more healing and more sustain. And each of the yellow buffs gives you 5% more healing. So basically, if you have three of them, you have 15% more healing. So it's a sustain. Not only that, you have 9% more max health, and you have 1.5 mana regen. So if you want to run away, that's amazing. So for that, I would go for something like this. Let's see, it's a big ass fight for like a party fight or whatever, and you are running menacing and epic melody. Let's see, you don't need this for a group fight. You don't need this either. It's also like it's completely optional, whatever you would like to do. I go single hymn of mine, or you can even drop it completely. I like to use it because in some situation it will give you more mana back the more mana you're missing. So if I'm missing 2000 mana, it will give me more mana back. Or you can just, if you want to have the marionette, you can just drop this one and have this. Or drop any other spell that you think, based on your situation and playstyle, that you think it's not good for you. Anyway, so if you go 3 comedy and you have your saga, you will have your Return to Vera, which is basically like a cleric man. See, it will heal everybody and up to 8 allies, I think. After a short cast, launch 3 bursts of healing up to 8 allies. Yeah, favorites injured people member, like the people who missing the most HP, and healing for 100%. The first hit will apply Glee if the target have Peep. So it, what is Peep? Peep was the movement speed. How can you give everybody else Peep? You either use Jest on them or Nimble Dance, or you have this passive, and when you flourish close to your allies, they will also get the movement speed buff. And the interesting part about this is, for example, you are in a big raid, you are running your epic or menacing, or it will goes mostly with these two, or if you're gonna go totally like completely a healing crackhead bard, that would be cheerful melody. So let's say if it's in a, for example, in a siege that I was playing, and I want to go return to Vera and also have the menacing melody on as well, it's better to go with this. Or if you are on epic, your party wants to be faster, they want you to only run epic melody, you run this, but your saga and your story should be this too. So here we go. And the combo with this, with Return to Vera, is to basically have this and this passive. So when you flourish, which is this, it gives nearby allies or whoever you pass through the movement speed buff, which is this one. And then when you use Return to Vera, if they have this movement speed buff on them, or you can Nimble Dance and then use Return Vera, or use Flourish and Return to Vera. If they have the Peep, and you use this, they will get Glee. And what is Glee? Glee is the healing over time that you have. So it's, you can eventually heal all of your party and give them all Glee with doing this. If they have, if you even have a second or third bard running around doing flourish inside the raid with dynamism passive, they will all your party members, all your raid will have Peep, and then when you hit them with Return to Vera, they all will get Glee, and it's a massive amount of healing. And the reason we get this passive is because then your Glee will have 5% of chance to bounce to another ally. So that's how you combo it with Return to Vera. And in general, if you are if you are basically like overwhelmed with numbers, let's say you're 2v1 or something like this, you go like that, you will have more sustain, you will have more stamina regen to run away, more important, and you have more max HP and you do more healing. So that's better in a situation when you are outnumbered. And if you go with the cheerful melody, it's simple. You just go cheerful melody, and whenever you do auto attacks, you do way more heal. Your heals are stronger. And whenever you auto attack, if I can find the scorpion, on my fifth attack now, see, I get this much heal. And then my sixth gave me heal again. So it's basically, I wouldn't go a cleric or like a healing bard unless there is no cleric or there is a situation in a dungeon that they pull too many by accident and your group needs like a little bit of more healing to survive that pull. You go this. So yeah, that's all about the bard that I know. If I miss something, let me know, and I also show you my weapon skill tree. Sorry. In my opinion, the reason that I was using one for this wipe was because the one finisher is a beam, and it does the most damage in the shortest amount of time. So you could eventually kill anybody with the combo that I showed you with one hit. So that's why I was using one to just nuke people in the shortest amount of time, like big amount of damage in a second. But for the next wipe, I would prefer to go either a longbow or something or any weapon that gives my finisher faster, because I want to proc my finisher faster, and when I proc my finisher faster I get the effects from my songs, so that's better. And for your melee, I would go with Iron Greatsword because it gives you the most damage and the most crit chance, and it's the sole reason is because it's just easier to craft compared to steel, because the steel one is so expensive because you need to find coal. If somebody finds a legendary coal, they're gonna sell it for 150 gold, and if you don't have that kind of gold, then yeah, it's better to just go for an iron greatsword instead of a steel one. And yeah, I will link my gear. I will put the link of my build in the channel, basically in description. So yeah, this is the scepter. I haven't leveled it up. I don't use it that much. It's level 20 only. I was using greatsword, but that's what I got to craft easier, so that's why I'm using it. And for one, this is how my skill tree looks like, and you also have all these three. This is what gives me the max damage. If somebody else knows a better one, feel free to try it. And then for the buffs, the intelligence scrolls were used to be the best, but right now it's the food. The only downside for the food is that it will go away when you die, but these ones are not going away when you die, and it has 3 hours. So if I use this in scroll, it's an epic one, gives me only 5. But if I use a common, magical, or roasted chicken, we'll see the difference. That's 8. So a common food is way better than an epic int scroll in terms of raw power. Of course, you get more int. Int gives you way more other stuff like accuracy, block mitigation, blah 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 blah. But it's none of them is really matter for me. If it was wisdom, it would be good for crit chance, evasion, and casting speed and penetration. But from int, it's only magical power rating and magical crit power, which I don't need it that much. I only had 170 magical crit power, and that int scroll only gave me 2%. So the food is stronger right now. Just some. Okay, here we go. This is is a separate video, which I forgot to mention the speedy bard. I'm sorry. And here we go. For your skill tree, it's gonna look like something like this. If you wanna run around very fast and relatively travel safe, because with this low TTK, nobody is going to be able to one-shot you or something. So you will be able to relatively travel fast, and you honestly, if you are not lazy to press a few buttons once in a while when you're running around, you don't need a mount unless you till you get a journeyman mount, which is like 175, or a lion or something, or a scorpion that are really fast. Rather than that, you don't need to buy apprentice mount, not at all. You just need a journeyman mount, because your bard is able to go like 170 up to 180 movement speed, same as a mount. Here we go. And so your song, basically what you want to do is you have your joy and everything, you have your saga. The saga, having saga is like the ultimate speed. It's not necessary, but if you want to go even faster, that's 30% extra movement speed with this saga, which is the anti-gravity or moon boots, whatever people call it these days. So you're just running around like a normal guy. You can spam your jest every 4 seconds to give you pip, which is 20% movement speed, and you already are running or sprinting, let's say. And then you have flourish, and you need to go with the dance mastery energy to have it refresh. So you use flourish, get off stage, dance, nimble, maddening, mesmerize, and you get 5 flourish to just go. And you also can press fortissimo to consume 5 stack of resonance, and that will also make your song even more powerful. So you're just running around with this and that. And on top of that, this guy doesn't want to let me go. Away, boy. Anyway, so let's say you use this, you can jump, and then you can use your shielding dance, boom, nimble dance. It's better to land on the ground and then use it again, because it will send you for some reason more travel distance. And on top of all of those, you have your story, which is joy, gives you 1 stamina at level 1, and if you reuse it again, it will be 1.5 stamina regen. So if I use it again and start sprinting with my stuff like this, and every 4 seconds I just need to use this, like my stamina is going down really slow, and if I even use my fortissimo for 8 seconds, sometimes my stamina is even going higher. So you can potentially run for a long time, and every time you just need to press just to get the 4 second, and whenever your stuff is off cooldown, you can do this again. You flourish, use a dance, flourish again, and you use Hymn of Mind to give you mana to sustain your mana for the long runs. And then if you use the joy again, it's joy level 2 now, it's 1.5 stamina regen. And yeah, this is it. This is how bards are fast. It is not something that you are always this fast. It has to be built in it, but in general you are faster than an average person running. And whenever your story is about to be ready, you can just pop up another 2 wonder, and then you will build your ultimate again, or your saga for the moon belt. Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, if there is something that I missed, or I said something that is wrong, please let me know. I'm gonna be in the new fresh start server. You can always text me. I would be happy to help or answer any question in comments or Discord. Also, if you find this video useful or you learn anything from it, please subscribe. The only reason I'm not making many videos is because I don't see a reason for it, and I'm very lazy to make videos. And I only made this one because a lot of people, including my friends, asked for this, and they wanted to know what I know about Bard. So good luck and have fun.